Tommy V in Michigan. He was on fire this morning.
Okay, thank you, Tommy V in Michigan. Yes, sir. If you share my prayers.
Tommy V's on. Yeah, we'll jump over there.
Tommy V doing great stuff over there.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name?
Brittany McClellan.
It's the state of Michigan versus Brittany McClellan, case number 24SL0253. Mr. Steinberg.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael L. Steinberg, 4341 on behalf of Miss McClellan. Today's the time and date set for arraignment on the information. I've gone over her her misdemeanor information to satisfaction, waived the reading there. And in addition, I went over rights as they attach today, waived their reading. We consent to being on Zoom with you. I verified the Warren address as well.
All right. Thank you. I'll enter a not guilty plea on her behalf. This matter will be set for a pretrial on a date to be determined. Ms. McClellan, you're charged at this time with one count of misdemeanor stalking. That's a misdemeanor charge punishable up to 1 year in jail and or $1,000 fine and up to 5 years probation. You're also charged in count 2 with misdemeanor malicious use of a telecommunications services. That's a misdemeanor charge punishable up to 180 days in jail and or $1,000 fine. Because these are criminal charges, you have the right to have an attorney represent you from start to finish. And if you can't afford one will be appointed for you at public expense. I know there's a request for a court-appointed attorney in the file. Is that correct, sir or ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. I'll grant you that at this time. Also, because you are charged with a misdemeanor, with 2 misdemeanors, you have the right to have a trial in this case by judge or by jury. At a trial, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. At a trial, you have the right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you. You also have the right to call witnesses on your own behalf. And if they won't come in voluntarily, you have the right to have the court order them to come in on your behalf. Also, at a trial, you have the right to testify if you wanted to, or remain silent if you wanted to, and that silence cannot be used against you. So, ma'am, do you understand what you're being charged with, what the maximum penalties are, and what your rights are?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Steinberg, with respect to bond.
Your Honor, Miss McClellan is gainfully employed healthcare system as a dental assistant. She has 3 children that are in her care. I verified the Warren address in September. She have lived there 2 years. She has no prior convictions that I am aware of. And I believe she has agreed to have no contact with Miss Green New as a condition. I'd ask you to set a personal bond at this point.
Thank you. Detective Beasley.
Yes, Detective Brian Beasley for Oak Park Public Safety. I respectfully asked for some sort of cash bond. Miss McClellan has been advised by myself and other officers not to have contact with Miss New over the past year. She has violated our order to stop communication with her. These communications have been threatening in nature, threatening to assault Miss New. Miss New is the mother of Miss McClellan's children's father. She has no involvement. She has no face-to-face contact with Miss McClellan, but Miss McClellan continues to threaten and contact Miss New for no reason at all. When she was arrested, she made the statement to myself is, since she was at work, I knew I shouldn't have came back from lunch. I should have just left, knowing that the police were there. That to me shows that she wanted to run from the police, and she did not want to take care of the business that laid in front of her. Also, while she was in our custody, the booking officers allowed her to use her cell phone to make some arrangements for her children. And while doing so, Miss New received another text message stating that there's 3 people that you'll never see, and she listed the 3 children that Miss McClellan has. So even after she was arrested, and even after she was advised of why she was arrested, she contacted Miss New in booking shortly thereafter. Miss McClellan uses different phone numbers for the contact with Miss McClellan or Miss New, but
That's not true.
but in
Don't
in
speak,
those-
man.
but in the context of those text messages, there's only one person that would know those things, and that would be Miss McClellan. And the way that she is speaking about the children and about the happenings of what's going on with the children. I feel that that the victim is in danger of something maybe even escalating now that Miss McClellan has been arrested, but still contacted Miss New. With that, I respectfully ask for a cash bond.
Your Honor, the people,
Thank you, Detective.
Your
What did you say, Mr. Steinberg?
the Miss New Green could be protected by the court imposing a tether on my client rather than a cash bond. Again, she has no prior criminal history whatsoever. She's not had any court orders to refrain from contact. She would have, but she's informed me by from reframing from contact as well. Lisa,
Detective, it's my understanding that that the children live at Miss New's residence. Is that correct?
Yes, they do. Miss McClellan has weekend visitation with the children. She picks them up on Friday night and drops them off on Sunday night. There is no face-to-face contact between Miss New and Miss McClellan. The children's father is there. But
That's not true.
I do want to admit that or put on the record that Miss McClellan does have several warrants out of different jurisdictions
Traffic.
for, even though they're traffic offenses, they are warrants showing that she does not appear to court, take care of her business.
Okay. Mr. Steinberg, do you know anything about the exchange of the children?
no, I don't, but we can ask that. I have no problem asking that on record.
Ms. McClellan, can you explain to me how the children get exchanged?
Okay, so we do have a court order in place, Your Honor. It is supposed to be that my ex-husband is supposed to meet me at a police station so that we can exchange our kids. Whenever I'm communicating with my ex-husband, we do have an order to communicate only on app close. Whenever I'm communicating with him and that there is time for an exchange, Mr. McClellan, either he doesn't have a car, he doesn't have a way, there's always an excuse.
Okay.
What ended up
Your Honor-
happening?
Your Honor, I'm going to cut it off at this time. She has a court order with exchange through a police station. I don't mean to belabor it. I just don't want to get to, we have a lot to arraign today.
Well,
So-
I understand that, but I want to get this right so that there's no issues. Obviously, if she has to go to the house to pick up the children from the residence, she has to go physically to the house. I understand there's no face-to-face contact, but if I put her on a tether, she can't go there to pick up the kids, and that's going to be a problem, it sounds like. So
Yes, sir.
I understand that, but
So, sir, yes, that was not the court order for my kids to be at my grandmother's house. Monday through Friday, but it was the only way that I could get assistance from their father during the separation and me rebuilding. So my kids were going to school from Miss New Green's house Monday through Friday, and I was responsible for dropping them off and picking them up and doing all of that.
But does he have a car that he can actually meet you at the police department so you can
No,
actually
sir.
go along with what the court order says?
He does not have a car anymore, sir. And I have been
Detective
forced
Beasley, is that
to
what you?
leave.
I haven't spoken with Mr. McClellan. He was not was not a victim or didn't make any statements that he was been threatening or being harassed
Understood.
by Ms. Clellan.
Okay,
'Cause he has.
all right.
I've been
Thank you.
forced
I've had a
to
chance to
have-
listen to.
Well,
I've
sorry.
had a chance to listen to the statements by counsel as well as Detective Beasley, as well as the defendant. I have had a chance to review the police report involved in this case, so I'm familiar with the facts and allegations. Obviously, the court is concerned for the safety of the public and Ms. New, given the fact that the allegations range all the way from July until May of this year, with the threatening conduct, and then also the most recent threats that have come out as more recently as yesterday when she was arrested. The court is obviously concerned about the fact that she still has outstanding warrants, as well as the statements that she made about potentially leaving. So I do find that she is a potential flight risk. I don't find that a personal bond is appropriate. I will set a bond given the facts and circumstances in the amount of $15,000 cash surety or 10% with the following conditions, ma'am. Ma'am, you're to have no contact at all with Rosalind New, all right? No contact means no contact, all right? No in-person contact, no tech, no, let me finish first, okay? No in-person contact, no telephone contact, no texting, no emails, no social media, no through a third party. All right, you understand that?
Yes, sir. I have no reason to
If you
contact her
could-
anymore. My kids are with
If
me
you
now.
I understand that. If you continue to do that, you understand you're gonna find yourself right back where you are and with facing further and more serious charges. Do you understand that?
I understand.
All right. You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, intimidate, or threaten the complainant or any witnesses. You will personally appear for any court proceeding. You will not leave the state of Michigan without the permission of the court. You'll immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or telephone number. You'll not possess any firearm or other dangerous weapon. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abuse medication. You must contact pretrial services within 24 hours of your release. And you must commit no new criminal offenses or activity. You understand those conditions, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're all set. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Detective.
Thank you.
Sir, can you tell me your name?
Miles McGee.
This is the state of Michigan versus Miles McGee, case number 240094FY. Mr. Steinberg.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michael L. Steinberg, T4341 on behalf of Miles McGee. Today's the time we date set for arraignment information. Gone over it to a satisfactory way. The reading therein asks is not guilty. In addition, I went over his constitutional rights and statutory rights as they apply today. And weigh their reading as well. Last, we consent to being on Polycom with you.
Thank you. I'll enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. This matter will be set for a probable cause conference on June 20th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. and for preliminary examination on June 27th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Mr. McGee, you're charged at this time with one count of police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. That is a felony charge punishable up to 2 years in prison and or a $2,000 fine. Because it's a criminal charge, you have the right to have an attorney represent you from start to finish. And if you can't afford one would be appointed for you at public expense. I note that there's a request for a court-appointed attorney here in the file. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll grant you that at this time. Also, because you're charged with a felony, you have certain statutory and constitutional rights that Mr. Steinberg has indicated to me that he's gone over with you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was during that time, I was mentally incapacitated. So they ended up taking me to the mental institution. I don't even remember what I did, honestly, but yeah, I went to the mental institution, and then 3 months later, I got hit with a charge.
Okay.
It wasn't like, yeah.
Okay, that's all right, Mr. McGee. So because you're charged with a felony, you have the right to have a preliminary examination held within 21 days of today's date. At that preliminary examination, it's the prosecution's burden of proof to prove by a probable cause standard that a crime was committed and that you probably committed the crime. If they're able to do so, the matter would be bound over to the circuit court, where you have the following trial rights. You have the right to have a trial in this case by judge or by jury. At a trial, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. At a trial, you have the right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you. You also have the right to call your own witnesses, and if they won't come in voluntarily, you have the right to have the court order them to do so. You also have the right to testify if you wanted to, or remain silent if you wanted to, and that silence cannot be used against you. So, sir, do you understand then what you're being charged with, what the maximum penalties are, and what your rights are?
Yeah, I understand, but
All
like
right.
I said, I was mentally incapacitated. I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Okay,
That's what I'm
Understood.
saying. It was an argument.
understood.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, thank you, though. Mr. Steinberg, with respect to bond?
As he was telling you, he was, I was looking at the felony information and notices that there, on the felony information list is a petition and order for commitment. So he is being treated in the community right now. He has his medication reviewed once a month. This offense is back from October 6th. So it makes sense of what he has spoken about. I think, again, the community, he's being treated in the community. He is medicated at this time. He has criminal history whatsoever. That's why I thought perhaps the bond recommendation is a little off at this point. As you well know, no police officer can be disobeying the lawful command of a police officer. There's no allegation of any assault to the police officer, although you did the swear to, so I don't know whether you had the information or you may have seen something in the report. Most importantly, Your Honor, this court, he is an Oakland County, excuse me, I take that back. I would ask you really to release him. We need to keep him on his medication. So if we keep him locked up, it's be a breakdown in his medication. This is a probationable offense. Again, I don't see the PTS reference prior criminal history. So I asked a personal bond, place on the condition there that he stay medicated and stay in contact with his mental health treatment team.
Thank you. Mr. McGee, where are you treating? Are you treating anywhere? Are you treating with Easter seals or anything?
No, I got a personal doctor.
All right. And when was the last time you saw that person?
It's been about a month. I had lost my car, so he just been sending my prescriptions to CVS by my house.
Okay. And you've been taking your medication?
Yeah, I've been taking my medication.
All right. How was it that you got picked up on these warrants?
I don't know. I was just outside, man. I was about to smoke a blunt. I ain't gonna lie, I do smoke weed. And they just was there. They just said get in the car and stuff like that. I don't know. I wasn't obligated to. I felt like I ain't do nothing, but I mean that's another charge, right? If I run or something. So
Right. Do you know, have you already been arraigned on any other charges besides this one?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. There's no, doesn't say, I looked throughout the report. There doesn't seem to say anything about criminal history.
Well, there's an older warrant too, Mr. Steinberg, that obviously you haven't seen, but it's another attempt police officer resisting and obstructing. It's out of the 50th District Court. And there's also domestic violence that's attached to it. And there's a bond on that that's $15,000 cash surety or 10%. So that's why I'm asking if he got arraigned on that before or not. It doesn't sound like he was, so that bond is probably still out there.
Can I speak? I was in jail.
That's-
They put me in jail, but he asked me right before he took me to jail, you want to go to jail or the mental institution? That's what he told me. And I said jail. I sat in jail for like 2 days. I didn't get no medical clearance or anything. And they ended up sending me to Common Ground. They wanted me to go to court in Common Ground, but I can't go to court on the phone. And they telling us to stay off the phone at certain times. So I wasn't able to hear, man. So it's just like, I get that one, but it's just like, I'm bipolar. I'm trying to fix myself, man. I just need a good chance. This is my first time really going to court. I don't know how to really do this shit in life. You know, I'm just trying to go the right way, you know?
Understood. Thank you. I've had a chance to listen to the statements by counsel. I have a chance to look at the pretrial services report and recommendation. I do note, I did not oversee the swear to in this matter, so I'm not privy to all the facts and circumstances of the case. I do note that there are some mental orders that are pending in the Sixth Circuit probate court. At least that's what it indicates on the pretrial services report and recommendation. It also shows that there's another warrant for another incident of resisting and obstructing a police officer, along with a domestic violence from October of 2022, that there's an outstanding bench warrant for. So obviously there's a recommendation for not being released, but I don't find it necessarily a personal bond is appropriate, but I will give him a cash bond with a 10% provision with some other conditions as well. Given the facts and circumstances of the case, I'll set a bond in the amount of $7,500 cash surety or 10% with the following conditions. Sure that you will personally appear for any court proceeding. You will not leave the state of Michigan without the permission of the court. Immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or telephone number. You'll not possess any firearm or other dangerous weapon. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abuse medication. You must contact pretrial services within 24 hours of your release. Commit no new criminal offenses or activity. Continue with mental health treatment and medication. All right. All right, sir. Good luck to you. You can let the deputy know you're done.
So how do I get out? I gotta get a personal bond.
$750 on this one. Okay.